Hi, guys.
Welcome back to the Consistency Code podcast. Coming at you with a fire topic today. The one and only cycle syncing. Is
The
it
big word.
is it legitimate? What does the science say? Should we be cycle syncing our workouts? It's a very hot topic in today's health and fitness industry. So let's get right into it. We've both seen cycle syncing absolutely everywhere, and I'm sure y'all have too on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, literally everywhere. And we wanted to actually dig into whether there's anything to it or whether it's just another wellness bullshit trend. So, yeah, we're going to come at this episode as coaches. Well, I'm a coach.
Just
Ruben,
singular.
honorary coach.
Singular.
As coaches, competitors, obviously we're not doctors. So, if you have concerns about your cycle, your health, your
Mhm.
hormones, anything to do with that, always go see a healthcare practitioner, provider for your own personal decisions. But yeah, we're going to give our
Exactly.
insight into cycle syncing and women's hormones. So yeah,
And they
where did it
all
come
that.
from? Where did cycle syncing even come from? I swear I woke up one day and everyone's talking about cycle syncing and seed cycling and changing your diet and your workouts depending on what phase of your cycle you're in.
hmm
And I'm not convinced. I'm not sold. I cannot lie.
Yeah, well, it comes from a lot of people already complaining about, like period pains being different for everybody and all that. So it's people trying to, make sense for other people why they are feeling certain things, but they're doing it in a way where it's selling their stuff. And you're not, last time I checked, you're not a doctor. Last time I checked, you're not a physician. So it's all, in my opinion, fear mongering. I'm so sorry. It is. Oh,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I think it almost is kind of an scapegoat for a lot of people too, because if you don't have a fitness routine or a nutrition plan that you genuinely enjoy and one that fits your lifestyle, you build resentment towards it, right? And you
Yeah.
don't want to do it if it's not customized to your lifestyle, if it doesn't work for you. They use it as a cop out to not have to work out or to eat to quote unquote satisfy their period cravings. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
on my period, so I'm gonna eat more chocolate because it's good for my hormones around my period. Or like, oh my God, I have like the worst cramps ever. I feel so bad, so I'm just gonna eat whatever I want. I'm gonna order a
hmm
burger because I deserve it. I'm not gonna go to the gym because my cramps are bad because like Sandy over there told me not to go work out like while I'm on my period. So
Exactly. And that's what it is. And cop out is not always negative, right? It's kind of calling it out for what it is because we have experienced that in the past. So it's also coming from experience because I've had times in the past where I was like, you know what, I'm on my period, like I'm slumped for the rest of the day, so why not? Like, what makes you feel better than just like turn on a fucking show? You're not at work, you're not at school, so you're just gonna eat like whatever, watch a show, and find comfort in that and until your pain goes away. But then we're also on the other side where we've seen and felt how it is when we do go train, when we're on our cycles and we come back and we're like, oh my gosh, I actually do feel better and my strength actually didn't deteriorate because I'm bleeding.
yeah,
So,
yeah, 100%. And on that note, I think it's really funny because a lot of my clients will be like, "Oh my God, I actually feel stronger on my period." And yeah, me too. I actually have like the best workouts. Like I actually do notice a increase in strength when I'm on my
mhm,
period, which is like so ironic. But yeah, and like obviously I say this all with love. Like if you genuinely do have extremely bad cramps to the point where like it's painful to sit up and stand. I get it. Obviously, you're not going to go to the gym, but like, use your best judgment with that. Like,
exactly.
there's a difference between genuinely being in too much pain to go work out and just skipping the gym and using your period as an excuse for that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then also, like, something to remind yourself of is like, if you go and eat off plan and eat like a dog when you're on your period, like, A, that's going to hold you back for sure from making progress, and B, you're not going to feel good after that. Like, you're going to wake up the next day and be
Um,
like, why did I do that? So it's never even worth it. And you're probably going to feel better if you just stick to your plan, stick to foods that actually, make you feel good rather than just
exactly.
giving in to your cravings.
And because it works, yeah. But
Yeah.
there's we're gonna break down kind of what we mean by cycle syncing for those who have not heard of it prior, or even if you have, just don't know like how it works. So obviously we have four phases. So we have menstrual, which is day 1 to 5, which where your estrogen and progesterone are very low. Follicular.
And yeah, in your menstrual phase, like energy is typically lower as well.
Hmm.
So that's when, obviously, menstrual phase, that's when you're bleeding. Like day one of your cycle is day one of your bleed. And so yeah, for the most part, that's where women tend to experience like the worst symptoms, like
Yeah.
cramping, poor sleep, bloating. And so that's
All that.
when like people are like, oh, I feel like that's gonna affect my training output because like I'm
Mm,
experiencing all of those symptoms. But yeah, that's the menstrual phase, typically like day 1 to 5. And then we transition into our follicular phase.
follicular.
Yeah.
We're still trying to give us a break. We're still trying to figure it out. Yeah, and that one's day 6 to 13, where your estrogen's rising. So things are kind of coming back to life. Your energy is coming back. You're not bleeding anymore, hopefully. You know, if you are bleeding on the 13th day, that's where we do involve a doctor, I
That's where,
would say.
yeah, that's where things start to become a little bit irregular. But yeah, during like
Yeah.
the late follicular phase, estrogen, which has anabolic effects, by the way. So this is why if your estrogen's low, it's going to be harder to build muscle. Yeah, estrogen is needed for muscle growth, and I think a lot of people like overlook that. I'm not sure, like, I'm not sure why, but I feel like testosterone has like this stigma of like being like the muscle builder, like, oh, you need testosterone, which you do.
Mm.
But like estrogen too is, yeah, and like very anabolic. So anyway, yeah, during the late follicular phase, estrogen, which has anabolic effects, is more dominant. And there has been some research that has suggested that strength training during this phase results in greater increases in muscle strength. But again, it's like nothing crazy to like actually really prove that. But yeah,
Mhm.
there is some research that has been shown to prove that. But then we move into the ovulatory phase, days 14 to 16, and that's where estrogen peaks. That's when estrogen is at its highest, and there's also a brief testosterone spike at that point in time. So that's when we feel our best. That's when we're like looking our best, look in the mirror and we're like, yeah, we feel so good, like feel so
Yeah.
energized. Yeah, that's the ovulatory phase, and that's when typically like your libido is going to be higher.
Mhm.
That's when like the body wants to like reproduce. So
Mhm.
yeah, all of that makes sense. And then we move into the worst, the worst part of the cycle, the luteal phase.
Everybody's favorite.
Everybody's favorite. Yeah, you look in the mirror and you see a gremlin. You feel disgusting. You feel
Yeah.
like you've gained 5 pounds sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you're expecting your period to come back. Which, if you think about it, like the month cycle, like it's draining because you finish your period, like you're done bleeding, but you're not done the cycle. So it all goes back around, and it's just, if you think about it, it's kind of hell, right?
Yeah, yeah. And in the luteal phase, we feel like gremlins because that's when progesterone is most dominant.
Mm.
Progesterone is inflammatory, so that makes sense. And progesterone is considered to have a slightly catabolic effect too. So I think that's sometimes why like training feels a little bit heavier. We don't feel as strong, don't feel as motivated. Everything just feels like a little bit more difficult during the luteal phase. But with all of this being said, like there still is no research to back up like changing our styles of training based on whatever
Mhm.
cycle or stage of our cycle we're in.
Yeah, because if we did want to get into what research says, because one thing I don't see is a lot of people coming back, and if they do, it's like a 1 in like 10,000, and they're like, well, here you go, or like, sorry, more. And it's just like, okay, well, this backs up everything. And it's like sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture and also just look at the people around you. And that's what I kind of do, because if you go up to a random person right now, not a bodybuilder, not in the fitness space, they're not going to know what cycle syncing is or means. It's not a typical thing that people go by. And I've never even heard a doctor like tell you like, okay, well, since you're in your menstrual like, cycle, like you shouldn't do that. That's never been told to us. And also, like, I do want to preface, like, doctors obviously sometimes do say things to hinder you as well, but it's just not something that's been brought up by anybody else except the internet.
Yeah, no, like there's no real biology with it. Is like
Exactly.
the
That's a
bottom
good thing
line.
to say. Because
Like
there's research on everything. If you like really want to talk about it, there's research on literally everything.
yeah. Yeah, like there's research on people losing 100 pounds and eating McDonald's every day and not eating anything else. Like
But you're not gonna go try that. But you're gonna go try cycle syncing. Hmm.
exactly. Exactly. You're not just because you saw like some just because you saw somebody eating McDonald's every day doesn't mean and losing weight doesn't mean you're gonna go do it. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
there was, like, if you go ahead and look into the research, you'll find more things that don't support it rather than do. So it's like, I don't know what year it was, but because it just didn't say, but they did research on how women's bodies break down muscle tissue between their follicular, we're just gonna go with that, and luteal phases, and they found nothing, right? So they said it does not hinder.
No. No,
So
it really doesn't hinder
there's,
progress. And
yeah,
it's going to be in your head most of
it
the time.
is.
So your
It
hormones,
is.
obviously, they do fluctuate. They do affect how you feel training, but the science does not support the rigid, like day by day protocols that are being
Yeah.
sold online, is
Mm.
the moral of the story. So,
Hmm.
yes, you may genuinely feel stronger and more energized in your follicular phase, and that is real. Like, that's not in your head, but your
Yeah.
actual muscle building capacity does not meaningfully change across your cycle. Injury
Hmm.
risk around ovulation is the most underappreciated and like genuinely actionable finding based on the research. But listening to your body across your cycle is smart, but like rigidly following a protocol is overkill, girl. Like
Hmm.
we don't
Yeah, like
yeah.
during my cycle, I have like my lower back tends to hurt a lot. So if it's
Yeah.
a leg day, I'm gonna be feeling a lot of stuff in my back if I'm not careful. But that's just, it comes to adjusting things, but not moving my training plan according to that. You know what I mean? So you're only gonna get injured as you will be any other day if you're overdoing it on days that you just don't feel good. Like sometimes like your back or your elbow will hurt, but it's just like you're not gonna go ham on it knowing that. So instead of, let's say, like barbell squats, which I don't do, but if I did and my back hurts, I'm gonna go to a hack. You know what I mean? So it's,
Just
you just
make
have
those
to move it
small
around.
substitution. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. Just like make those smart judgments and calls based on your body. Yeah. And I think another interesting thing that I want to touch on is birth control, and like this whole cycle syncing thing is even more redundant if you're on hormonal birth control. Like
Yeah.
any cycle syncing advice or science literally does not apply to you if you are on any form of hormonal birth control, because
Hmm.
the entire premise of cycle syncing is built around natural hormonal fluctuations.
Hmm.
It's hormonal contraceptives suppress those natural hormonal fluctuations entirely. So, yeah, any cycle syncing social media advice, I call it advice. It's not advice. It's just
If it's social
or
media advice, it's not
yeah,
real.
yeah, none of that is addressing hormonal birth control. So, yeah, there's a huge portion of the female fitness population that's being given this advice that literally does not apply to them. Like, I don't know the exact like percentage. I would be interested to know the like a rough percentage of like how many females are on birth control or like hormonal contraceptives versus not.
Yeah.
Like, I think it probably has come down in recent years just because it is fading out and there's more light being shined on the negative effects of it. But I mean, it was handed out like candy to us when we were in our
Yeah.
teens. So yeah, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, if you're on birth control, literally don't even bother with it at all. Don't even
Yeah.
if you aren't on birth control, don't bother with cycle syncing. But like even more so if you are.
Like both, just don't do it. Just simple as
No.
that. There's just, and again, it's track your cycle and how it feels best for you, but not in the sense of moving your entire life around cycle syncing. Because there are also people, like, it doesn't only come to training, there are people who also eat differently based on what stage they're in. And it's just like, have you seen that? It's like, oh, I'm in my luteal phase, so I'm gonna eat more fruit or this, that.
Yeah, girl, the
I
fluctuations are not, your body is not like, I'm in my luteal or I'm in my follicular phase right now, so I'm gonna like better absorb these nutrients or like I'm,
exactly.
you know, like
Yeah, and that's why hot take, I think like this is just like a lot of other things because I do think some people are genuinely trying to give useful advice, being like, hey, like you're on your cycle, you're not feel like men don't feel these things, so just like you know, like train smarter and do this. It's not saying that. So I think this language is dressed up in a way where it's just empowerment language and we need to stop doing it's the same thing as like the pink tax. So we're
Yeah.
using a lot of things to make it look like we're women for women, this and that. I think you're actually hurting a lot of people because they're gonna get in their own way of things,
Yes.
focusing on so much more different factors that don't need to be thought
And
about, and
are,
it's gonna
yeah,
overwhelm others.
exactly. The more you throw at something, like the harder it is to manage. Like
Exactly.
noticing like too many cooks in the kitchen is not a good thing. Like same thing on your fitness journey. Like if you are throwing a
Mm.
million things at yourself and like changing up your program and your routine every single week based on whatever phase of your cycle you're in, like yeah, that's actually going to hinder you. It's going to hold you back like because there's just way too much going on and way too much unnecessary like
Hmm.
variables at play.
Yeah.
The more variables you have, the more likely inconsistencies
Yeah.
are gonna happen.
And
Like,
before we move on, like I do want to say like, there are certain people that we're not neglecting, like when we talk about this, where like they do have insanely difficult periods where they are like you do have to stay at home and like you just they could not move, and that's like but that's a certain percentage of the population. So when we say this, like people will go back and say like, well, mine's really bad. No, there are people who generally could not move on day one. It's that bad. So we're not talking about that, okay? But moving on from this topic, which I find this is gonna be so funny because would this even work for bodybuilders in prep specifically? Don't even play in my face and say yes because you were as competitors, okay? In prep, let's say you're 4 or 5 weeks out. You know how bad it is, okay? If you're already going to do your fasted cardio for an hour and you're tired, you feel broken down, like your muscles are aching, you're going for an hour of fasted cardio. What makes you think as you're doing that, because you're in your menstrual cycle or luteal, we're gonna take things easy? It doesn't balance.
if bodybuilders cycle synced, dude, we would never be in shape. We would never build
Like,
any muscle, actually. We wouldn't make any progress in the gym because we wouldn't be training as hard for 1 week of every single month.
or
Uh,
more, or more.
we would be fat because we would just be giving in to all of our cravings.
Like the chocolate that you'd be eating, like you know what I mean? Like it just
Oh,
it doesn't work. It does not work. Like your cortisol, everything's already spiked because you are in prep and you might be like, you know, like not getting enough sleep because at a certain point, like your body just cannot go to sleep for the full 8, 9 hours or even sometimes 6. Like people have it rough. You cycle syncing is actually gonna do shit all in this phase. Shit all. I would prefer you to do it in your off season if you're even gonna try, because in your prep it's just gonna make you miserable.
it's gonna, I mean, it'll make you miserable and there's zero point to it. Like it's gonna hold you back. And then like we just said as well, like the more shit you throw at yourself, the harder it's gonna be to
Yeah,
follow. Like in prep, we wake up and we do the damn thing. Like we know exactly what boxes we have to check and we just do it day in, day out. We follow the protocol, we do what coach says. Like it's that simple, right? We're not like waking up, I'm on day one of my period. Imagine if you said to your, if you checked in with your coach day one of your period and you're like,
like I've left in my check-ins like, oh, like today was like day one, it's super painful, like it was so bad, and the most I've gone was, well, I hope that gets better, let me know if there's anything I could do. Anyways, here's your new plan. Like this.
yeah, add an extra 10 minutes of cardio today, actually.
Yeah, in that case actually you're on there longer today.
Yeah,
But
actually take away 50 grams of carbs. Like,
like what's that gonna do? Because as bodybuilders, especially, like you're prepping around a show date, not around your cycle, right? Because that's
totally.
when like
Yeah.
some people have their cycle on show day. Very unfortunate, but it happens. That's how like it. That's the number one thing it tells you. You cannot plan things around your cycle. Yes, it's shitty. Yes, you don't want to be bleeding on show day. Yes, it might hinder your look even. But there's just some things you can't control. You just have to let them be, and one of that is gonna be your period.
And on that note, while we're talking about this, like obviously, I think it's pretty like common information that our cycles don't, or for a lot of us females, like our cycles don't stay normal throughout the entire duration of
Mm-mm.
our prep, because once you do get down to like a very lean body fat percentage, like the body is just, it's stressed out, cortisol's up, right? Like it's not going to be prioritizing reproduction. So
I used to have 2 day cycles.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
2 days. That's it.
I've had 2 day cycles, and I've had 2 week cycles. Or sorry, like
See,
2 days of bleeding and then 2 weeks of bleeding. I've been on
it's
both.
skewed.
Yeah, yeah. And then like there comes a point where you just lose it altogether as
Yeah.
well. And some girls don't. Some girls will make it through their whole prep without losing their cycle, which is amazing. But it's, yeah, it's really person dependent, but it is common to lose your period in a prep.
Exactly.
But,
Yeah.
and I mean, there's not really, I think it just comes down to like the person. There's not really anything, like, yes, less extreme prep protocols will be obviously more
Yeah.
friendly on the body, but like there's not really anything that you can do in terms of like cycle syncing
Yeah.
to support it. Like even like, yes, you can eat foods that are like richer in certain micronutrients to support your hormones. I'm like, eating more iron and magnesium and that kind of thing. But like at the end of the day, once you're in a prep, like, and you're doing like X amount of cardio and eating only X amount of calories, like swapping like some of your veggies for like more like leafy green vegetables to get more like magnesium, or swapping your like peanut butter for dark chocolate to get more iron. Like it's not going to outweigh the high cardio and the low calories that you're eating.
Exactly.
Like
There's things that are
you can't out
much
and
bigger.
yeah, you can't out diet, you can't out supplement your hormones and like the stress that's already being put on your body. So
Yeah. You're too far gone. That's
you're
just where we just have to believe. Like you're too far gone. That the leafy greens are not gonna help you. Getting rid of that hour-long cardio will help you, but you can't do that.
And that's why prep is not healthy long term. Like
Mm.
we are not holding that lean, shredded, like sub 10% body fat percentage year round, because it's not physically healthy. And
Yeah,
there are
and we
like
like
some genetic anomalies that like can hold that, but for the most of us, absolutely not.
be miserable.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally, literally.
But legit science-wise, I'm gonna say nay, just because again there is research around a lot of things. It's just if you do find research for it, we're now at a point like where we're picking apart what we want to take from something and leaving the rest, because there is gonna be research for both at the end of the day, but more for the against it, which is just the truth, honestly. Overhyped, I'm gonna say overhyped, 110%, 110%.
Definitely overhyped. Something else that's overhyped that we have definitely talked about on the podcast before
Yeah.
is random ass supplements, especially ones that are like hormone focused, like female health, like, take this supplement during like this phase of your cycle. Like it's bullshit. It's like
Yeah.
literally it's all a
It's
marketing
yeah,
gimmick, and yeah, you really can't out supplement your hormones. So yeah,
yeah.
don't waste your money on any of that.
Or the sorry. Sometimes on your luteal phase, you should just do Pilates and like low. Oh my gosh, what's the word? Don't say it. Not low intensity, but we'll say low intensity. Sure, low intensity training during certain parts of where you'll land on your cycle, whatever. Just nonsense.
It is
I want
nonsense.
to say. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
But
think
you're
we've already covered that.
yeah. Tell me your verdict on this basically as a whole.
As a whole, I think I've already made my opinion pretty clear. Like cycle syncing, it's so redundant. It just like I don't know who came up with it. I One day I woke up and people were just talking about it. Guys, just at the end of the day, listen to your body and be. I say that and mean it in the sense of being honest with yourself. Like, don't use your period as an excuse to skip the gym and go off your meal plan. But where was it? Oh my gosh, brain. Just stick to your plan. Like, if you have, 3 leg days a week, 2 upper body days, like, just stick to your plan. If you wake up one day on your period and you're like, holy fuck, I'm dying, like, okay, maybe reschedule that leg day. But like, rather than waking up on your period and being like, oh, period day one, okay, I'm gonna skip the gym because I'm on my period. I'm
Yeah,
gonna eat whatever I want because I'm on my period. Like, you don't need to change things based on your cycle. There's no evidence for it. Like, if anything, you actually are gonna be stronger during the menstrual phase. So yeah, I think all of this is overhyped. There's no legit science to it.
yeah.
Yeah, I would be very skeptical as well about like any diet trends specifically based around your period too. Like
There literally is, and it's so
you
funny
don't need to be
to
cycling, you
see.
don't need to be, yeah, changing your
Just
meals,
smoothies.
changing your calories week to week.
Yeah,
Yeah, trying to
yeah.
throw more at it is literally going to hold you back. Just stick to the plan consistently
Mhm. Yeah.
throughout the entire month.
I'm
It's not that deep.
with you on there. Like, I don't have anything different to say. I think it's repetitive. I think it's just people wanting to, and that's the thing. We have this trend of people just want to talk, which is fine. Like, I'm all for you, like, making your like content and stuff. But sometimes, what are we talking about? Because I'll look at a video and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is actually insane. What? And I'm like, what do you want me to do with this? I'm actually reporting in this video because,
Also,
yeah,
look at who is promoting that kind of content. Most of the time, like,
it's the same. It's the same people that say you can get lean from doing, sorry, toned from just doing yoga and Pilates. Tell me I'm wrong. Look at them and tell me I'm wrong.
they're also the ones who are probably on a whole bunch of peptides without telling you, or starving themselves all day, every day. They probably also run, maybe high rocks. Yeah.
There you go. Tread lightly when you see certain content. If it looks too niche, it probably fucking is. It probably fucking
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I always promote and tell my clients, KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. We don't need to be overcomplicating it. Like, yes, yes, obviously legitimate hormonal fluctuations as we move throughout our cycle every single month. The
Mhm.
female body is extremely complicated, especially compared to a man's body. Men will never understand. So there is something real there, but the internet has run with this whole cycle syncing thing way further than the science supports it. So yeah,
Exactly.
as always, you
Quit it.
gotta keep your best data points. So yeah, try not to get stuck in that deep rabbit hole of cycle syncing. And if you
Exactly.
have any, like, another thing that I do want to end this episode on is like get your blood work done.
Oh,
Like,
thank you for reminding me. I actually do need to get my blood work done.
I got
Thank
you
you.
actually, yeah. If you're a bodybuilder, like multiple times a year, if you're just a lifestyle girl, like
Mhm.
even like once a year, twice a year, get your blood work done just to make sure that your markers, your hormonal markers are always where they're supposed to be. Not only your sex hormones, but also your full thyroid panel, your cortisol, everything. Get it
Everything.
done because that's going to give you all of the information you need. If you feel like you have any irregularities, anything abnormal with your cycle, get your blood work done. Um, get a coach or healthcare provider to look at it. A lot of the time, doctors are going to give you a very different opinion than like a fitness professional would. So, would encourage you to get both opinions. But yeah,
Exactly.
that's going to be your cheat sheet to actually figuring out your cycle, not trying to cycle sync your workouts or your nutrition.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
So yeah, we'll end it there. Hopefully you got some value. This was more of like a knowledge and I don't know, opinionated
Yeah,
talk,
something
but
quick
hopefully
and
you enjoyed
cute.
it. If you have any topics, any other crazy fitness trends that you've been seeing that you would like us to give our opinions on, please drop them in the comments. And
Yep.
yeah, we'll chat to you next week, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode.
Bye.
Bye.